The last of the Sunday wildcard games features two teams that, frankly, I don't think a lot of people envisioned making the playoffs in 2014. The 11-5 Detroit Lions traveling to Dallas to take on the NFC East champion 12-4 Dallas Cowboys. You'd have won a lot of money if you'd have put it down for both of these teams making the playoffs, let alone, frankly, even one of them for 2014. And here they both are with the last of the wild card games on this wild card weekend. And you look at this matchup, you've got, lots of intriguing possibilities here. From a Detroit Lions standpoint, you have Calvin Johnson, you have Golden Tate, a really nice 1-2 combination at wide receiver. You have a plethora of backs, while none of them are maybe outstanding, but guys like Jock Bell and Reggie Bush and Theo Reddick that can bring different things to the table. You've got a quarterback in Matthew Stafford who sometimes can be frustrating, but sometimes he can be oh so brilliant. You have, most importantly, a Detroit Lions defense that is really tough to run the ball against. A Detroit Lions defense that can generate a consistent pass rush with their front four. This is a Detroit Lions defense that has surprised people, frankly, with how good they've been under coordinator Terrell Austin this year. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, what a nice, season for them, if you will. I don't want to call it a bounce back because I don't know what they're bouncing back from, but this has been a nice season for them. 12-4. They finally figured out what their identity needed to be. They built up their offensive line. You've got three former first-round picks there. You've got a running back in DeMarco Murray who can pound that rock 25, 30 times a game. You have one of the best wide receivers in football in Dez Bryant, one of the top 10 quarterbacks, I'd argue, in the National Football League for sure, in Tony Romo, and a defense that has been a little bit better this year, if still not great. When I look at this matchup, I look first at the quarterbacks. And you've got Matthew Stafford, who kind of yo-yos up and down, versus Tony Romo, who also kind of traditionally has yo-yoed up and down, especially in big-time games. I think the Cowboys have a big edge in terms of their ability to run the ball, even going against that Detroit Lions front four, because it's not like the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is filled with scrubs, even though it sounds like they'll be without Doug Free for this game. That could hurt maybe just a little bit. You look at the Detroit Lions, they may struggle to run the ball even against a Dallas Cowboys defense that isn't that particularly good. They need Megatron to have a big game in a big way. Another guy that they need to come in and do something as well, because the Cowboys will struggle to defend it just like every other NFL team would be, is they need a guy like Eric Ebron to step in and be that dynamic playmaking tight end that could stretch opponents over the field, over the middle. That's what they need. They need a guy like an Eric Ebron to step up. And when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they have to stick with the formula that got them to the dance. They have to start off with the running game. They have to start off by establishing a physical identity. Because if they establish that physical identity early and impose their will on this game, and DeMarco Murray can control this game early, it's going to open up so many things for Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys in the passing game, especially for Dez Bryant, who, frankly, the Detroit Lions, like most other teams in the National Football League, don't have a cornerback or a safety that can stick with them or defend them one-on-one. I look at this game, and I anticipate this game being a real fun game to watch if you're more of a traditional old-school fan, in the sense that you're going to be watching a great offensive line versus a great defensive line. And that's where this battle is ultimately going to be won or lost. And when I look at that, I think the edge has to go to the Cowboys, especially considering that I think they have more talent, in particular on the offensive side of the ball. It would be very easy to sit here and just make fun of the Cowboys and sit there and say, they'll be one and done. They'll choke it down their legs. I'm not sure if this is a Super Bowl caliber team, but I think this is a team that has earned the right for me to at least pick them for one game, and I think they've got the formula for what they need to be able to beat the Detroit Lions. So I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Lions at home, even though the Cowboys have really struggled at home. I'd actually feel, frankly, more confident about picking the Cowboys to win this game, as stupid as this sounds, if they were playing on the road, since they went undefeated on the road this year. It's just one of the real quirks of it all. At some point in time, it's got to balance out, doesn't it? At some point in time, don't the Cowboys have to be able to win one at home? Win one against a quality opponent? I guess we'll find out on Sunday, but my money's on the Dallas Cowboys to make it to the divisional round of the playoffs.